Yesterday, my ex-wife was asking me if she thought that if I was like, if she wanted, she was asking if I was autopsied, if she thought that my lungs or something inside of me would look different because of all the weird water breathing practices stuff that I did. Right, I almost don't even do it very much anymore, and I was like, I don't think. I was like, something might be different because I did go really hard at it for like 10 years, like hours and hours a day. But I haven't been doing that anymore, so it definitely doesn't feel like it changes me now, but I guess it could have changed me then. But also, like, if I was to describe the effect of it, it's not on a single particular system. And in some ways, it's like, it's always disappointing in that regard, because like normally you want to do something and you want it to make this thing better, and that is happening, but it's always systemic and sort of outside my abilities to linguistically understand it or see it, right? And so like what you're doing with the water breathing, by subjecting yourself to the water pressure with an open snorkel, like with an open line of air, so that you can go underwater and still have your air atmosphere in your lungs connected to the atmosphere up here. And when you do that, the water will squeeze. It'll squeeze or pull or collapse the lungs, and you can use that pressure or that collapse to very easily like relax. And once you relax, the breath or the air will suction itself to the water, like a vacuum sealed bag, right? So imagine you have like a bag or a membrane stretched over like a water, and you could suck out all the air. That will suck the bag down to the surface of the water. So then if the bag moves at all, if there's any sort of movement, then the surface of the water will stick to it, and if there's any movement in the surface of the water, the bag will move. So the technique basically suctions all of that breathing movement to the water. So your body becomes suctioned to the metabolism from what I call hosing, tongue in cheek, but I think I'm just gonna have it. That's gonna be the name. I'm sorry. So with the hosing work, which is using a hose or a long snorkel to apply water pressure to your breathing passageways. If you do it through the nose, like a nose snorkel, and go under, it'll do the same thing to your breathing passageways and your sinuses, and that will suck the membranes and the fascia and everything of the brain to the water up there. And this is kind of like synonymous with focus, with whatever. It's like a reflex. It's a thing that you can do without the water. Like people do it all the time. You can just relax and breathe in a certain way, and like it sucks the membranes of the body like suck together. And that's what's going on when somebody's like skin and tonicity. When somebody has tonicity, it's just because they've like relaxed and they're breathing in such a way that the skin like sucks to the body. Like that's what's going on when somebody's like tight or what have you. It's like methy people or whatever are so skinny and all that. It's not like a metabolic thing exactly, but it is an activity. It's a tension, and it's like when you can do it through relaxation with just the air pressure, or you can kind of like cause it with sort of a mental tension, and it just squeezes everything together, and then you get that look of somebody that's like in shape, and they may have more or less muscle underneath it, or even more or less fat. Like if you have this, like if your breathing is correct, even if you have fat, it's gonna suck it in, and it'll tend to look good to a certain point. Like on women, or what have you. And so this primary thing of fitness is this metabolic, like sticking to the water, sticking to the metabolism that people kind of inadvertently do with things like running, just stuff where you're breathing so much, like you're breathing so much that the breath and the water like become one. So you can move with the breath and the water through habit, where you just choose to move with it, or you can suck yourself to it, or you can relax and be like floating on it, right? Even if there's like an air bubble or a pocket between you and the breath, if you relax, you'll fall onto that that pocket, or you'll fall onto that separation, and because it's floating, the movement of the water will move up and down. And then as that air pocket goes away, then the thing itself can pull the water up and down. But at any point, like, unification between the breath and the body is accessible via relaxation, and then through training or fitness or correct belief or whatever, you kind of get you become a skin around the water, or a skin sucked to the water, and then you get to kind of like choose what's going on. And before that, you are more of an object in water. Like, most people's consciousness is as an object in their awareness. And then like a higher state of consciousness is when you are like a skin around or stuck to your awareness. And they're both true. But different truths are like structurally in different places in relationship to each other. So in this landscape, some truths are like higher and some truths are lower. And that's like how there's some things are at the bottom of the ocean and some things are at the top of the mountain. And it's not necessarily like this is good or this is bad or this is better or this is worse, but those truths have that structural relationship to them, so that when you talk about it, you would go, oh, this is a higher truth, or this is the highest truth. Right? Or this is the most, or you could say this is the most buried truth. And it's like that truth is that's just, you're talking about truth, and then that's the bottom of the truth structure. And then the middle, or the mundane, is the middle of the truth structure. It's all one truth structure. So it's not like you're finding, oh, here's the truth, and then as you go up and you find the highest truth, like, oh, that's the truth, and the other stuff is not the truth. That's not how the truth structure works. The truth structure is like, there's a thing and then there's a location. So some things are there and they're supposed to be buried, right? Like, you want the lava to be buried. And if you unveil the lava, it's going to cause problems. Like, if the buried things come to the surface, a lot of the times it causes issues. It's not that it's bad that they're down there. In fact, it's probably good that they're down there. It probably like enables the whole thing. Everything probably has to exist. So you have to arrange it or find a place for everything to exist. Like, if everything exists, the brilliance is finding that narrative where everything can exist. And so that narrative, since it's a truth about everything, it's going to look exactly like what you're seeing, because that's the truth that you're trying to describe with the narrative. So it'll either end up kind of like regressive or Ouroboros-like or fractal, you know. But that's it. So long story short, I don't think it causes that many like physiological changes that you would see. It's just sort of an attention or an interest in this type of adherence, or this type of like suction. Right? Like, what are the different ways that my body, or the material of my body, can interact with the water of my body? Because my breath and my awareness and my life and my metabolism is kind of in that water, and my body is what? It's stuck to it. There's membranes. It's dissolved in it like a gel. Right? There's like the fascia and the extracellular matrix and stuff is like, a lot of it's gel-like. It's like fluid-like in tubes. There's this bellows and these membranes with like hydrostatic pressures and hydraulic systems and all that. And so I just kind of like, it's once you see how the body actually works, it's really interesting. The way that a sailboat's interesting, or the way that hydraulics are interesting, and so it's like I have a knowledge. I have more of it's more of a knowledge about that stuff rather than having like done the work to super change it. Like I've changed my body with a ton of work before, when I was a competitive swimmer, or into the like intense spiritual practices or stuff like that. You can do things with a certain intensity and it'll actually change the structure of your body, and you'll have different adaptations. And I guess what I've just been doing for quite a long time is like I'm doing things for real, not academically, but it is more with an academic mindset of like, oh, that's how to do this, I get it, and then like what's this other thing that I'm interested on, and figuring out how to do that. So it's like I understand. It'd be like if I was studying birds and I had made like a hang glider, and it's like, hey, I figured out flight, but like I'm not as good at flying as a bird, even though I understand flying probably more than any bird ever will. So like I understand exercise and science probably more than any yoga or yogini or whatever, or meditator that I've ever encountered. But at the same time, like I feel like I understand what they're doing better than they do, because I've like replicated it the way that humans have replicated birds, and they've built like a 747 or a F-22 or something like that. Like we understand flight better than birds do, but like birds are still better at it, right? So like I've done whatever people have done with their breathing and stuff like that. I've kind of reversed engineered it and applied that technology and engineering to it to accomplish it, very easily, even when there's no skill present. Like I have no natural ability to fly or to do anything, but like I can build a hang glider or a parasail, and then suddenly I'm flying with no natural ability. So with water, I've done that exact same thing with just about any state of consciousness. Like any type of breath work, any type of whatever, you can just accomplish it even if there's no natural ability for it. And so, yeah, it's more of a, like, I guess if you've autopsied I'd have a ridiculous, like, understanding of things. I have an absurd understanding of things from my training, but I don't know if that's, like, how much that has changed my body. My workouts are very efficient, like strength and coordination and fitness to me. It seems more like, most people have to train to keep themselves in shape. With me, it just feels like the same as if you were good at shooting a bow and arrow. Like, it's more like just, are you on? I hit it, I can do it, sweet. So for like all of my strength and stuff like that, it's just like pick up some weights and toy with it. Am I centered, dialed in? Yeah, sweet, okay, I have access to like my strength and endurance. And if you test it, like, oh hey, yeah, I can run 5 miles pretty fast, or oh hey, I can lift this like heavy weight, but like I don't know, I don't have I haven't had the motivation to like push into that stuff too terribly much anymore. Exercise in that sense of like, oh, I'm trying to change myself or develop myself into a particular way, it's just become not that interesting to me anymore.